Hi everyone, it's time for today's maths lesson. Now, before we start off on today's learning, I actually want to pause for a moment and talk a little bit more about something I've mentioned a few times already this week, which is the survey which we're going to be working on tomorrow. Now, you are going to be making a survey of your own and you're going to present your findings as different types of graphs, charts and tables. A survey is a question which you ask to lots of different people to find out their view. So maybe you've already actually been thinking about what your survey question is going to be, because I've mentioned it in passing a couple of times. Now is the moment where I'd like you to actually settle on a question that you are going to ask people. So here are some examples. I've sort of chosen these ones deliberately. I want you to think whether these survey questions would be good questions or not. So when you think of a survey, you also need to, in our case, come up with the answers as well that people can give. And it's the answers that are really important because people will be selecting one of the available answers which you've given for them. So here are my questions. I wonder if you've got any thoughts on them. So after I've read the three questions and all the answers out, have a pause, have a think. Are these good questions? Are they not? Why would they be good questions? Why not? Okay, so question one. How many brothers or sisters do you have? 1, 2, or 3? Who in the class has the best hair? Tim, Gary, or Sarah? Who's your favourite football club? Is it Portsmouth Football Club or Portsmouth Football Club under-18s? So pause the video, have a chat. Which of these would be good survey questions and which maybe wouldn't be? Why not? Okay, hopefully you're back with me. So I would say then, let's go through one by one. So how many brothers or sisters do you have? Now, some of you would be able to answer that no problem, but others of you are probably going, well, hang on a minute, my answer wouldn't be up there. We haven't actually accounted for everyone, have we? If you've got 1, 2, or 3 brothers or sisters, great. But not everyone does, do they? Some people would have 0 brothers and sisters, and some people would have more. Now, we probably don't want to have to write every single number. We don't want to have to give, like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know who has 9 brothers and sisters, but you get the idea. So I think what could be quite a useful thing to do here is we could have 3 or more, for example, or 3 plus. And that would mean that if you've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you would tick that box as well. And so these would be good ways of improving our possible answers here so that everyone would be able to answer it. That's really important. So definitely make sure your answers have an answer for everybody. Now, I think we can say the same, couldn't we, about the football club question. Now, I would have no problem. I could answer that, but I don't think everybody else could. So I'm not sure having Portsmouth FC and Portsmouth FC under-18s is a wide enough choice for everybody. Now, equally, we don't really want to have to list every single football club. My dad is actually a fan of Ayr United Football Club. He's Scottish, he's from Ayr. He would want the answer there, Ayr United Football Club. But if I start listing even tiny clubs like Ayr United, I'm going to have thousands on there. There are many thousands of football clubs all around the world. So I can't list everything. So what could I do with the question then? If I maybe I wanted to give people a choice of 4 meals. I'm not going to have everyone's favorite meal, but I could change my question a bit so that it's a bit more inclusive. So I could say, which of these football clubs do you prefer? So similarly, if I wanted to find out what people's favorite fizzy drink was, maybe actually in only 4 or 5 options, I'm not going to have everyone's favorite fizzy drink, but I could say, which of these fizzy drinks do you prefer? And then maybe list 4 or 5. And this one, who in the class has the best hair? Now, there isn't a Tim, Gary or Sarah in our class, but even if there was, I don't think this would be a very kind question, would it? Because even if, let's say, Sarah won the poll and Sarah was really happy, that would mean that Tim and Gary hadn't won our survey, and so they would probably feel a bit upset by that. So I don't really want any polls to do with other people in the class. Please leave teachers out of it as well. I don't want, if I'm not your favorite teacher, that's fine, but maybe that we'll leave that out of the poll, I would say. So let's not include any sort of people that we know. I would say that's a good idea to leave them out of it. And similarly, let's make sure our polls always have an option that everyone can answer and that it's kind of a suitably worded question. Once you've got a question that you are happy with, I want you just to lay it out as a table like this. So here might be yours, which fizzy drink do you prefer out of these options? And you might have 4 options, something like this: Coke, lemonade, Fanta, and Irn-Bru. It's completely up to you what your survey question is, but lay it out in a table like this and have it ready to start asking people. Now, in terms of who you're going to ask, you can obviously ask all the people in your household bubble. That's great. If there's people you speak to on the phone or by email or by WhatsApp or anything like that, if you speak to Nan, Grandad, if you speak to some of your friends online maybe, great, you can ask them. Whenever you ask them, you can use a tally chart to add these up. So if maybe I asked my mum and dad and mum said Coke and dad said lemonade, then I can leave it for a bit, and then maybe when I'm on WhatsApp to my friends and some of them come on and I get a couple of votes for Coke and one for Fanta, I can do that then. And one opportunity you're going to have, which I think you've got the chance to get loads of people in your survey if you'd like to, is tonight's Zoom meeting. So every Thursday at 4 p.m, I invite all of you guys, everyone home learning and also everyone at school, I invite you all onto a Zoom call at 4 p.m. And if you'd like to join in that, great. If you can do, brilliant. One of the things we're going to do this evening is we're all going to answer each other's survey. So you'll be able to come on, you'll say, right, hello everyone. I'd like to know, which fizzy drink do you prefer? Your options are Coke, lemonade, Fanta, and Irn-Bru, and then you'll say, put your hand up for Coke. And you'll tally it up. Put your hand up for lemonade. Tally it up. And you get the idea. So hopefully that'll be a really good way to get loads of respondents in your survey. But however you want to do it, you can do it on the Zoom call, you can do it at another time, however you like. The reason I'm talking about this now is that tomorrow, in tomorrow's maths lesson, we are going to be presenting our findings. So if you could aim to have a tally chart like this in time for tomorrow's maths lesson, brilliant. It doesn't matter too much if you don't get many respondents, or if you don't, if you aren't able to speak to people, don't panic. That's completely fine. That's no problem at all. But if you can get some respondents for your survey in time for tomorrow, great. Right, we are going to move on then to think very briefly today about tables. Now, tables is something we've kind of seen in little bursts through the week, but we're going to just sort of explore them in a bit more detail today, and this is going to be our main bit of maths learning. So let's start actually just by pausing. There's a few kind of little starter bits for you here, which are going to relate to some things that maybe we have looked at previously or things that might be useful for today's lesson. So pause here, have a go at these 4 questions and come back to me when you're done. So double 35 then, a couple of mental strategies we could use for that. I think a bit of partitioning would be good here. We could double 30, double 5, put those together. So double 30 is 60, double 5 is 10, so 60 plus 10, it's 70. Okay, next one, 40 plus 10 plus 30 plus 20. It says 4 numbers to add up all at once, so it can be a bit tricky to add up in our head. We could go through each one and sort of think in turns. So I might go 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Something I quite like doing is grouping things together that I know are kind of useful number bonds. So I know that 40 plus 10 is 50, and I know that 30 plus 20 is 50. So this is really asking me 50 plus 50, which is 100. Circle the expressions which total 100. Well, again, this is some number bonds here. We could, again, think in terms of our 10s and our 1s. Now, 60 and 40, I know that one is. I know 6 plus 4 is 10, so 60 plus 40 is 100. For some of these other ones, again, I might want to sort of add the 10s together and then add the 1s. So if I do 60 plus 40 together here, well, that's already 100 before I've added the 5 and the 5. So that's not going to be 100. Same here, 80 plus 20 is already 100 before I've added the 5 and the 5. 80 plus 10 is 90, and then 5 and 5 is 10, so that one's 100 as well. So we've got that one and that one. And which calculation has Jack represented here? Well, we can see he's going backwards. He started at 180, he subtracted, sorry, I think I said 180. He started at 130, he's subtracted 80, and he's done that in 2 parts. He did 30 and then 50. So it's 130 subtract 80 equals 50. Next up then, we've got a table to show the number of visitors to the library. Okay. Right, yeah, we've got the days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Use the clues below to help complete the table. Twice as many people visited the library on Thursday than on Tuesday. There were 120 visitors in total at the weekend. So let's tackle this a clue at a time. Twice as many people visited the library on Thursday than on Tuesday. Okay, well, how many people visited on Tuesday? Let's have a look. It's 45 on Tuesday, so we know we're going to need to double it. So what's double 45? Let's do it in parts. Let's double the tens. Let's double the ones. So we've got 40 and then 5. So let's double 40. That's 80. Let's double 5. That's 10. So it's 80 plus 10. That's 90. So that's going to be our answer for Thursday. Let's look now at the weekend, so Saturday and Sunday. There were 120 visitors in total at the weekend. Now, what is the weekend? It's Saturday and Sunday, isn't it? And it's in sight, coming soon. There were 120 visitors in total at the weekend. Now, part of that 120 is the 70 for Sunday, and the other part is Saturday. So we could think of this as a bar diagram. We know that 120 is the total, and that's made up of Saturday and Sunday. We've got Sunday's 70, so it's what's left. Now from here, there's a couple of ways we could think about this. We could do this as a subtraction calculation. We could do 120 take away 70. We could do 70 plus something equals 120. Either way, we're going to get the answer of 50. So a couple of ways we could have done that. We could have done a number line, could have counted on in a number line. Either way, we get our answer of 50. Here is another table, and this one is showing the number of visitors to the theatre. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, when we get a table like this, we can use this to answer questions, but we've got to interpret what we're seeing. So when it says how many people attended the theatre on Friday, we can have a look at that Friday row. So the row here has 95 adults and 60 children. So what calculation are we going to need to do? We're going to need to do 95 plus 60. 95 plus 60. As always, a couple of ways we could do this. Maybe we could partition this 60 and we could take off the 5 we need to get the 95 up to 100 and think about what's left. So it's 55. So we've got the 100 there and 55. It's 155. That's a mental strategy you could use. You are equally welcome, as always, to use a written calculation. If you want to get your 100 tens and ones out and use column addition, that's fine too, that's okay. All of these are strategies which we have. So another way we could have thought about that, we could have sort of split that 95 in our head so that we could make a number bond to 100 there. I could have taken out the 40, added that to 60 to make 100, and then have the 55 left. Either way, we get the same answer. Question 2. The theatre holds 200 people. Which days were sold out? So for this one, we're going to need to add up the adults and children on each day and see whether any of these total 200. Pause the video here, have a go at that. You can use whichever strategy you want. You can use a mental method if you want. You can use a written method. Find out for me which of these days had a sold out audience of 200. Okay, so the answer for this one, 115 plus 85 is 200. Saturday was the sold out day. How many children attended overall? Well, again, this is going to be one that we need to add up. In this case, it's a column. We've got all of these. So a few ways we could do this. My big advice would be, let's maybe not try to do it all at once. That might make life a little bit easier for us. So we can do this in sort of chunks. We can add a few bits together at a time. I would also be looking for any numbers that I know bond together really nicely. I'm looking already at that 40 and 60. What does 40 and 60 make? It makes 100. So that's going to make life easier for us. Let's do the 40 and 60 first. That's 100. 85. I wonder if we could split this up into 50 and something so that we can bond 50 with 50. If we take 50 out of 85, we're going to get 35 as our other part. And that will help us here. We can make a nice number bond to 100. And so we've got 200s and a 35, so it's 235. If you wanted to use a written strategy for that, completely fine, that's okay too. Another question for you here. Here is a table to show the number of visitors to a swimming pool. So again, pause the video, have a go at these couple of questions. Come back when you're ready. Which was the pool's busiest day? Okay, so we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So hopefully you were adding together some of these rows. You were adding together all your Mondays and getting a total there. Adding together all of your Tuesday and getting a total there. And if we write down our total as we're going along, then it's going to make it really easy to compare. And now we can see really easily, can't we? Which day was the busiest day? It was Wednesday. How many people visited the pool in the evening? Now, firstly, you need to understand which of these counts as the evening. Hopefully you've understood that that's 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And now it's a case of adding those things up. So we've got 15 plus 20 plus 30 plus 20 plus 35. So there's quite a lot to do there, isn't there? Again, could we kind of bond together some of these easier numbers? Let's look at how we could do that. Could we maybe split it up? That's another way we could do it. We could make it so that we are getting rid of all of the kind of more fiddly bits. Let's see what we can do. 20 plus 30 we know is 50. 20 plus 30 here we know is 50. And what's 50 add 50? It's 100. And now it's a bit easier to see that we've got 100 and then we've got 15 plus 5, which is 20 left over. And having these mental strategies to be able to just sort of spot what we can group together, spot what we can nicely add together is a really good way to help you do mental calculations a little bit quicker. Okay, so here are your questions for today then. Have a go at these independently and I'll see you at the end of the video for the answers. Oh, Mr. Nass has forgotten the answers again. Bear with me. Apologies, everyone. Here we go. So here are your answers that you need. So you'll be able to check how you got on and mark your own. Thank you, everybody. Well done for getting on well with your tables there. And don't forget, we're going to be doing our surveys in maths tomorrow, and we're going to be presenting our surveys in lots of different ways. So if you can, do your survey. If you're able to, log on to our Zoom call at 4 p.m. this evening, and we can all sort of answer each other's survey, and you'll get as many respondents as possible. Okay, thanks, everyone. I will see you back here later on. Enjoy.